Good morning, world. The other day, I got a question from a gentleman asking, how do I make it work when I have to work with my wife? And that is a reality for many people today. Many couples are starting businesses together, whether as a supplemental source of income or as their primary source of income, because many of us have been working towards improving work-life balance, which is a lot easier or to do when you are when you're the boss, when you're self-employed. So a lot of people have been starting businesses for that purpose. And so if that is you, or if that is someone you know, this one is for you or them. First is to set roles and boundaries. When you go to work in an organization, when you go work for a company, there's usually an organizational structure. The different people who work for that company have roles, they have assignments, and there are boundaries that you have to respect within the work relationship that you have with those people. In a couple's work relationship, a lot of times these boundaries and these roles did not come preset. So you and your spouse need to take your time, or whomever it is, whichever friend you're starting or family member you're starting the business with, you need to take the time and set these roles and set those boundaries so that you can have somewhat of an organizational structure and get an idea of how to best and most efficiently make your business work. Two is to designate workspaces as well as off-limit spaces. When you go to work, you go home, you get up in the morning, you get dressed, you go to work, and you do work at your office. Yeah, some people bring work home a little bit, but for the most part, the bulk of your work gets done at the office. When you work on your own business, and especially if that business is based in your home, a lot of times you end up doing work at home, but you have to have some off-limit spaces. It's maybe you have your den or a space in your home near the dining room table, a desk at the desk, which is your workspace, where we know if you're at your workspace, you're at work and you should not be bothered. Your husband should not be asking you for his socks, or your wife shouldn't be asking you if you took care of this, that, and the other when you're at work, just as they probably would not call you at work to ask for these things. There are also off-limit spaces, because when you're working and your business partner is right there next to you in the bed, there's a tendency to want to continue having work all day, all night. So because your business partner is right there, why not ask the question? Why not discuss the next project? Have some off-limit spaces. The bedroom is one of the biggest off-limit spaces that I recommend for couples. When you're at home, when you go to bed, this is not the time to be discussing your projects and things like that. Take the time and do these things, when you're at work. There may be other times where work spills into places. For instance, on a nice day, you want to go outside and sit in the backyard and do some work. Yeah, you can do that, but respect the off-limit spaces, and of course, respect when the person is in the work designated areas. Three is to have a system for assigning and acknowledging tasks. Again, without a set organizational structure, a lot of times we get into these situations where you expect your husband to do this and your husband is expecting you to do the same thing. But if both parties are expecting it and expecting the other person to do it, then nobody is getting it done. That's why it's important to assign every task, no matter what it is that has to be done for the organization. When you have specific roles, certain tasks will fall within certain roles, and okay, the person whose role this is will fulfill this task, but there will be other things that are not exactly role specific, and you'll need to make sure that you're assigning these tasks. And in addition to assigning the task, it's also important that the person acknowledges the task, because it's not enough to just think, okay, I want him to do this, or he should do this. It's also important for him to know, okay, this task is assigned to me. I accept the responsibility of doing this task. Because if you assign something to someone and the person either doesn't know or doesn't want to, or for whatever reason has declined the task, pretty much, it's not getting done if you're expecting someone to do something when they've already said or don't express that they have no interest in doing it. So make sure you understand and put that in place. 4, schedule team meetings as well as those powwow sessions. Most organizations have staff meetings, leadership meetings, and a lot of times, yes, those are a bore, and many of them do not fulfill the purpose, or at least they do not need to be as long as they are. But even if you are a small organization and you know that you and your partner, you and your spouse are spending a lot of time working together and that you talk all day, there are things that get missed. That's why it's important to have a specific time for your team meetings. This doesn't mean that if you need something done and your business partner / spouse is right there across the room, you're not going to ask them for it. It just means that there are times you're going to set aside to discuss progress, to discuss project status, to discuss whatever it is that you want to discuss in your team meeting. And of course, powwow sessions where you brainstorm where you want to go, what's it gonna take to go there, and how we're getting 2 new clients, whatever it is you need to address as a team. Make sure you're having that team meeting just as you would if you were a multi-billion-dollar organization. And finally, understand personalities and needs. Your partner has specific needs, specific things that help them be more productive. And if you were in a big organization, there would be things you would learn about other people that you work with to help you more efficiently work with them. Maybe you know that if you bring the IT guy coffee in the morning, your IT issues get solved a lot faster, and you start bringing IT guy coffee. So learn these same little tricks about the person you're working with. Things you know about your spouse that help them be productive. If you know they're not morning people, those little things, as well as the things that they may need from you, things that they may need you to do, things that they may need you to make the work setting, to make the work situation a lot more effective and of course more efficient and productive. All right, I'm feeling like this was super long because my voice is starting to go. Let's do a quick recap. 1, set roles and boundaries, and of course make sure you're following them. 2, designate workspaces as well as off-limit spaces, and please respect them. 3, have a system for assigning tasks as well as acknowledging them, because it doesn't work if you assign a task to a person who doesn't know or already told you they're not doing it. 4, schedule team meetings and powwow sessions, because there has to be a time for you to designate to addressing the issues and the progress of your company. And finally, understand the personalities of the people you're working with, or the person that you're working with, as well as their needs, so that you can help make it the most productive environment for them and for your business. All right, that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have a great day.